Do you feel as though you are holding on and white knuckling a huge energetic roller coaster ride from one dimension to the next in the last month and especially in the last couple of weeks? Well, that is exactly what we're going through. And I want to share with you how to understand it, how to make the best of it, and how to use it to evolve and really catapult into the next vibrational, empowered experience of you. My name's Sonia Choquette. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to address what's happening in the last 10 days and last 2 weeks and the after effects, because the after effects, which we're just moving into, are just ramping up, and it's actually quite good. Now let's talk about what we've just been through. Now, my guides have humorously called it the purge and surge cycle that we're in, and we're just exiting the purge. Now, I don't think the purge itself is over, but the energetic impulses that would shake and cause us to release, let go, be done with things that we have very stubbornly or in both conscious and unconscious ways held on to that are holding us back. I was meditating on, well, what exactly was that red blood full moon about in the eclipse and all the emotional reactivity that everyone was reporting to me, including the one I had myself. I had one client say, on the morning of the full moon, I woke up and I knew I needed to move. And I needed to do it quickly. This is a woman who lives up in Sweden, and she said, I just got the message that I have to go south. And she said, furthermore, I just bought a car and I have a dog. So what am I supposed to do with those? And go south. I don't know where to go. South. Well, here's the interesting thing. I said, well, you get your car. It's new. So obviously your soul is preparing for the go south marching orders, and put your dog in the car, pack a few things, and just go. Now, here's the surge part of that, is that we're leaving the intellect, the ego that has to have a plan and a structure, know the end game, and have it all locked down in a very third dimensional way, and shut down all possibility for mystery and divine support and synchronicity and living in a very connected and fluent way. When she's going south, I said, actually, it's the process of you trusting this internal guidance, your internal compass, your internal source of direction, trusting that inner direction, going with it. You know, sometimes we've been taught and have given away our sense of direction to outside forces that tell us to do things that we've blindly followed, bam, right into a brick wall. So this purge and surge cycle that we're in, and will continue probably through the end of October, is going to have all these things come up and invitations to let go of the old way of doing things. The old way being, I need to logically explain why I'm doing something. It has to be transactional. I have to have a measurable outcome. It has to be approved of by others. It has to make logical sense. I have to be safe all the time, ego-wise, defended, guarded, and basically living an inauthentic life. So this cycle that we're in is inviting all these dramatic endings to that. Let's end that. The universe is inviting us to just stop it. And it's not, we've had subtle invitations, we've had nice invitations, we've had encouraging invitations, but this last bit of experience we've just gone through for many has been really brutal. It's like, just let it be. Get over it, move on, let go. Now, for some of you, things may have ended that you didn't want to have ended. I know that's what happened to me. I had a very good connection with someone who was a big support person to me, show up and say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I got to go do something else. Now, that was my little inner child was bummed. It was a great playmate, but also my higher self knew I only had to support that and trust that that would not, her rising would not be damaging to me. I just had to let go and say, you go do your thing. I trust that both you need to follow your truth and your spirit and guidance, and that I will be okay and supported, that someone's rise is not someone else's demise. That is something we need to, in the surge of consciousness, we need to understand. Can't figure it out. I can't explain it. I can't validate it to your ego, but we just have to let this happen. That's a big part of how the purge part is unfolding. Now, the other thing is that you have to be prepared for, and this is a big one, a whole purge of stuffed emotions. I have a client who just said, I can't stop crying, and I'm so tired of crying. I want to get over crying. And my response and guidance from my spirit teachers, the emissaries of the third race, is, oh no. Two things are very important here. If you are overcome by tears or sadness, someone else said, I'm so sad, that we are processing not just our own personal emotions and letting them move through and to the light and move out and on, but we are also, if you're an empath, you have energetically said you will be also a temporary, now do remember that word, portal to let collective emotion that's been stuck start moving on. So you might be feeling the collective sadness versus your personal sadness alone. So just ride the wave and know that these energies need to rise and move on for us and our spirits to return and our lives to rise. So don't judge the experiences you're having emotionally. Now, I've also had clients talk about having rage. I had one client say she was just consumed for 72 hours with rage. And, that is probably lifetimes of not letting yourself have real boundaries or being in touch with what you really need and sacrificing things in the moment for the peace, and later on, it's just at your own expense. So I said, forgive yourself. Unless you really took someone out, in which case ask forgiveness, and let's hope that rage was expressed in a way that didn't destroy everything, except, now we have to repair your nervous system. But there is this rage. The function of anger is to say stop. And if it comes out as rage, it's because that measure of what to say stop to has been collapsed, and it just is flinging back in place. So if that's your experience, be kind to yourself, have compassion. If you've raged in a way that's been damaging to others, and who hasn't in the last few weeks, given the way things have been going, or the meltdowns anyway, ask forgiveness. Don't hold on to it. It came up to move on. You don't want to go grab and shove it back in shame. It's a challenge. That's not going to be an easy thing to do. But do. Be willing even to see if rage rose up, that there's something good underneath the way it showed up. Now, I know for me, what showed up and what will show up for so many is, what is the one thing that you tend to do that you think is okay, even though you know it's not really. Now, for me, it's been just letting things ride rather than saying, this isn't working for me. Choosing to say, you know what, it's not that big a deal for me, so I just don't want to confront it. I don't want to say something. I don't want to make a drama for myself and even others. But in truth, I should have been saying something all along, because I've trained a lot of people to take a lot of advantage of my good spirit. So I end up doing things and agreeing to things. They're overgiving. And in the moment, it's like, no big deal. But cumulatively, the way it surfaced for me personally is I just had this complete meltdown of tears, and I'm exhausted. I can't do this. And it passed. It only lasted about 40 minutes. Thank God, because I had a big event 2 hours later, so I had to get it together. But it felt like a purge. It didn't feel like a permanent truth. It felt like a lot of unspoken, unprocessed stuff I had been creating for myself that just needed to be brought up to my attention and then moved on. And that's exactly what happened. It was brought to my attention. Stuff I had been rationalizing as no big deal was actually a big deal. So maybe that's how it surfaced for you in terms of the purge part. Now, for some, the purge part could manifest in some serious physical issues. I have one client who said her husband was golfing and he whacked the ball and it ricocheted back and smacked him in the eye. So that made him stop and thank God it wasn't a complete permanent disaster, but it was serious. It was a wound, a deep one, a surgical one that required a massive repair. So these things that are surfacing they're important, and they're bringing powerful messages that say, pay attention. If I didn't get your attention earlier, maybe I'll get it when you have a meltdown or you get whacked in the eye or something. And that's not to say the universe is having any other agenda, but I'm trying to help you stop hurting yourself. So I'd like you to write in the comments how this purge experience for you has surfaced. The other way that it's surfacing, like the woman saying, I have to go south, you might suddenly feel like, I just don't want to stay invested in the life I'm invested in. I don't want to continue living where I'm living. That's coming up for me. And if you have these big ahas that say, you got to change things in a big way, but you're not clear, just sit with it and say, I'm available. Just tell your higher self and your guides, I'm available, and be available. Keep your ego out of it. Just say, okay, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to jump all over this. I'm not going to freak out. I'm just going to be available to the wisdom that's coming through, the guidance, which brings me to the surge part. All of this is teaching us and inviting us to start living in a more integrated, holistic, deeply and profoundly guided way, the way we're designed to live, where we are no longer going to fight our intuition. It's like our guides and spirit guides and higher self are looking, saying, why are you fighting your wisdom? Why are you challenging the deep knowing in you that's trying to help you correct the past and recalibrate with who you authentically are? What insanity is this? We got to stop it. So the surge is, if you start getting guidance, accept it. And don't feel like you need to shop it around for collective approval, because you won't get it. And the real power is to say, I'm going to do this even if I can't explain. I am going to trust my vibes. I'm going to honor my guidance. I'm going to listen to what my inner self is communicating. And it's not communicating by words. You're not going to get someone whispering in your ear. How it's communicating is energetically waking you up, and you're starting to recognize, feel, sense if something's congruent or not, if something's aligned or not, if something feels like it's uplifting to you or not. And your rational mind doesn't get a vote, except to say, how can I help? But it can't say, I'm going to stop this. That's the surge part, is our light bodies. There are a lot of teachers coming online now giving us a lot of information about our light bodies and our DNA and our higher selves and all the dimensions, me included. But if you aren't given instruction in how to integrate this into your personal life, what good is it? It just complicates things. Because to know about the light body doesn't mean you're allowing yourself to live in an enlightened way. When your light body starts activating, it's inviting you to trust your intuition, let things go without explanation, go follow through and honor the impulses you're getting. And if you feel something, don't fight it. Just say, this is what I feel and I'm going to go with it. So that's what the surge part is like. Let's surge in terms of willingness to live in the enlightened way that's starting to turn on. That those hunches and vibes and ahas and those dreams and that waking up in the middle of the night, that all the things you're sensing that are communicating whether or not you're in a unified, beautiful, happy, energetically loved frequency or not. So that's what this is about. If you're still in the purge, do. If you're in the surge, believe yourself and turn on those lights and live in an enlightened way. Make choices that don't require that you have to intellectually justify them. Be willing to go south if that's what it says, or time to move, or gotta go, or can't work with you anymore, I gotta do something else. And just be in a grand state of yes, okay. Just okay. And I'm gonna suspend my fears. I'm gonna suspend living with fear and control. And I'm going to just blindly, to the outer eye, to the intellect, but profoundly, insightfully say yes to the guidance I'm being given and not fight it. And if the guidance invites me to do things and lean into things that don't seem like I'm up for, just say, okay, show me. I have a client who is really being guided to be a big teacher to men, to show them how to have intimate connections with other people, with their wives, their kids, other men. Because this is not a skill that's ever been emphasized and is so desperately needed as part of this evolutionary process. But he doesn't think he's up for it. It's still his path. So that's when you say, okay, I'm going for it. Show me. Show me. And then be patient. Have the space to be, to receive some input. These are new rules. Living in an ascended way looks like this. If you get a guidance, say yes. You don't say, no, I can't have, or deny it, or shut it down, or go ask 50 people if they think that's okay. That's what this is about. And we're going to take it step by step. Put in the comments how the purge is showing up and where the surge is showing up, where your intuition is loud and clear, where your guidance is giving you very specific directions that you cannot on any level intellectually substantiate. It always usually starts with, I don't know why. Well, your intellect or your ego doesn't, but your spirit is why. The answer is, my spirit is saying this, my ego can't explain it, but I'm going with it anyway. That is the 12 strands activating in action. And that's what this period is all about. So I send you lots and lots of love and support. If this has helped you, please leave a comment. If it's mirrored something and given you some support, leave a comment, because your comments will help others. We have to help each other by saying, yes, 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 this is happening. And yes, we're all okay. And yes, we're growing. And yes, it's messy and looks like this. If you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe and hit the notice button. So when I do put out my videos, you come back. These are lessons that are guided by the teachers, by my spirit guides that are such wonderful teachers, the emissaries of the third ray, second octave of love. So practical. So are you in purge? Are you in surge? Are you in a bit of both? Do become very much a part of our community. Please join. Please subscribe. And give me a like. It helps the community grow. It helps us be visible in the world. And it helps us go through these planetary changes in a way that's grounded and safe, and believe it or not, can even be fun. All my love, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.